The man who set up this free-range poultry farm for laying chickens 21 years ago says there's huge satisfaction in coming out in the morning and seeing this paddock as an immense moving carpet of brown. These early birds are up catching the worm literally since well before dawn. When Rob Darby started this business, there were no free-range commercial farms, unless he says you wore sandals and a beard. The idea of battery hens and cages held little allure.
It's very hard to make opinions about the opposition, but I couldn't be a battery farmer.
Why not?
The thought of putting birds in cages, you can see what they're like out here, happy and outside, and the thought of putting them inside a very small piece of wire, no, it's not my idea of farming.
Rob's 50% partner in Free Range Eggs New Zealand is Graham Carey, who joined forces with Rob after a successful career running a wetsuit business, the US Navy, among his clients. Now he's joint owner of a business processing around 250,000 eggs a week. They come from their own farms, plus a large number of contract suppliers stretching from Hamilton to the far north, all adhering to the strict guidelines required for certified free-range eggs.
If you do it properly, the free-range movement is more expensive because instead of having thousands of hens in a small space, you have, say, 1,000, 1,200 birds in a large space at 350 birds an acre. So the cost of the land, the cost of the farming is higher. It does cost more to give the bird its freedom. There's no doubt about that. For that freedom, the bird does what it can and it eats all the right stuff and it gets out in the sunshine. You substitute antibiotics and pesticides for sunshine and fresh air. So, those are the inputs. They cost more. So basically speaking, your actual input to the egg is probably costing you somewhere in the vicinity of 30 to 40% more. We started off with Rob and I with a very small business, and now it's built up to 20 farmers up and down New Zealand, from the north down to Franklin County. We're in pretty much all the supermarkets throughout New Zealand. We have a chain of supermarkets down the west coast of America and 2 chains in Hong Kong. So there's a lot of people roll up to buy friends' eggs every day.
Apart from battery hen operators competing with them on price, Friends has another commercial challenge: barn operators who put in a door to the outside and call their chickens free range, even though Rob claims the chooks never see the light of day. What were the major sort of challenges at a practical level and I guess a financial level in setting up this whole operation?
Well, making small farms financially viable was a big one, like you suggest, because you are competing against what we call the bogus free range, where you might have 20, 30,000 birds in a shed, and they may or may not ever see the light of day. It's just that because we don't have a free range standard, it allows a lot of people to cheat, and unfortunately the public don't know the difference. So the challenge for the small farmer is to make their farming that point of difference.
Oh wow, look at all those eggs. Very beautiful.
Someone's been busy.
Brown eggs. Somebody's been very busy. Another development with the competition has been from cage bird farms on egg colour.
Well, they used to use a white called the 288, and it used to lay very superior numbers of eggs to, say, this brown shaver. But of course they were white eggs, and after we got going, the industry soon realised that the New Zealand public associated brown eggs to free range. So they didn't want to seem to be standing out, so they put the brown birds in cages and now produce in New Zealand pretty well all brown eggs.
And obviously they sell.
Yes, under the guise of farm eggs.
The 2 breeds used by Friends are the Shaver Brown and High Line. They run a much smaller part of the business, rearing chickens for their meat, broilers, who might look a bit mangy here from lack of feathers, but that's their natural state apparently. In fact, big broiler businesses are working on a featherless breed.
Most of the broilers, or pretty well all broilers now, are white, and they're specifically raised for meat. So we do meat as well. They don't live as long as their brown counterparts, but they get to go outside.
So they don't get to egg laying age?
No, they're pretty well processed before that age.
The chooks are fed from a large silo outside the shed, which keeps the feeders topped up with a grain mix from organic crops. Hens are brought in as one-day-old chicks. Rob and Graham don't breed their chooks. That would require noisy roosters, a no-no. 7 weeks after their arrival, this is what the chicks have grown into, a flock of flighty youngsters still finding their way in their new world. Ahead of them, 2 years of laying 5 to 6 eggs a day. Once those days are over, these layers mostly end up in organic chicken stock. Graham Kelly looks after the export side for Friends and says, particularly in America, New Zealand, free range and organic are all important marketing tools at point of sale, where they sit beside local cage-produced eggs that are half the price. And customers on the other side of the world can look at the batch number beside the use-by date on the carton, enter it on the Friends site, and hey presto, they can see the farmers and chooks where their eggs came from.
We don't sell an egg up there, we sell the fact that it's free range. And you can free range in New Zealand better than most other places in the world. If you free range in Los Angeles, the chooks get overheated. They can't wander around on concrete and free range there. So if you free range them on the other side, on the east coast, they become prematurely frozen in the winter. So you can't free range there as well. Here in New Zealand, we can free range 7 days a week, every week of the year.
Graham has fun with American buyers, pointing out that after their Air New Zealand flight to a Californian supermarket, the eggs are yet to be laid, all because of the international dateline. It looks like that little joke must be working. Graham won't reveal just how many dollars they earn, but assures me their export trade is a lucrative one. Free range obviously sells superbly.